Until this weekend, there has been a certain relentless sense of decline in the yes case for the referendum. Relentless decline in the polls.
The latest poll from Redbridge shows that the yes vote has dropped under 40% in every state around the country other than Victoria.
Relentless attacks in the Parliament.
A divisive Canberra-based voice proposal.
Relentless reporting of divisions and contradictions in the yes camp, and misleading accusations of racism.
Marcia Langton, an architect of The Voice, in the spotlight for these comments.
That changed yesterday when, even surprising some organisers, tens of thousands of people marched across the country, in big cities and small towns, in support of the yes case.
It's such a marvellous turnout.
At the same time, the last few days have seen the disciplined messaging of the no campaign start to unravel.
So we're more likely to get treaties if people vote no?
Yeah, because then we have to do the hard. On the 15th of October, if it's a no vote, that's when the real work starts.
For months now, various arms of the no campaign have run different lines of attack on The Voice, from constitutional questions to arguing it creates national division based on race, to arguing it could lead to a change in the date of Australia Day, to suggestions that a voice will lead to higher taxes and the loss of private property. Some of the arguments have a stronger base than others, but what has made them so potent is they have been simple messages thrust up against what remains a slightly fuzzy idea to many Australians about a body they are told is both going to change the country and not change much at all.
Do you believe the history of colonisation continues to have an impact on some Indigenous Australians?
No. I'll be honest with you, no, I don't think so. A positive impact, absolutely.
In the last few days, the no message has got more complicated, has strayed off the talking points, and many prominent no campaigners are clearly not agreeing with each other.
Do you agree there are no ongoing negative impacts of colonisation? What's your view on this?
Well, you look at the history of humanity, it's just about every race, every religious group, every country in the world has been colonised, has been invaded.
We cannot deny that there are generations of the past that have made mistakes towards Indigenous Australians.
Most of the divisions go to the question of what happens if the current proposal goes down on October 14. Pauline Hanson's One Nation is one of the groups hotly advocating a no vote, arguing that voting yes on The Voice will automatically lead to treaty and higher taxes. But Warren Mundine yesterday muddied the waters on this issue, arguing that a defeat of the referendum would actually open the floodgates on treaties.
You support treaties. Why?
I say treaties in the plural sense because we've got to recognise Aboriginal culture. When you talk about like a state treaty or a national type treaty, it doesn't make sense in our culture.
His comments prompted more confusion in the no camp.
Well, I think we're talking treaties and treaties here, different things. I don't believe that Warren Mundine is talking about the sort of national treaty between two sovereign entities or one sovereign entity and many, many other sovereign entities that is being envisaged.
That relentless decline in support for the referendum, shown by the polls, would suggest that some confusion in the no camp of itself will not necessarily be a turning point. But it has opened up big questions about what happens if the vote does not succeed. That is, whatever happens, it will not be the case that life just goes on as before and the status quo prevails. There are now questions about whether there would actually be another referendum.
So you'd hold another referendum?
I believe very strongly, yes, I believe very strongly that it is the right thing to do. Nobody wants a second referendum.
And there are questions too about just how Indigenous affairs policy would be run in the future.
If we don't have that portfolio, it means that everybody is taking advantage of the same opportunities that our country has to offer.
I fear that a no vote will be interpreted, and falsely I should say, as a mandate for governments to do nothing and to make our lives worse.